And as always, you can sit up on something like a blanket or maybe a block. Take a moment just to rock from side to side so that you feel your sitting bones underneath you. Then find a comfortable sitting position where you can stack your spine. So start with your base, feel your sitting bones underneath you, and can you anchor them down into the earth? And then press into your sitting bones and feel as though you were lifting the crown of your head up like there was a string tied to it. Notice your chest lifting slightly as your shoulders roll back. Keep your chin level with the earth. Just place your hands either in your lap or on top of your thighs. Soften your gaze or close your eyes. And as you soften the muscles around your eyes and ears, rest your attention in the space right behind your eyes. As you breathe here, focus on just one breath. The beginning, middle, and end of your inhale. And the beginning, middle, and end of your exhale. And that's it, just one breath at a time. And as you breathe here in a seated meditation, can you focus on just the breath that you're on? Don't worry about the breath that's coming or the breath that just happened. Just one breath. And if it helps with that mental note of tracking the beginning and end of each inhale and exhale, you can continue to do so. Soften the tops of your shoulders, your chest and belly. We'll be here for just a few more moments, practicing the art of being still. Okay, so keep the softness of your body. Just start to blink open your eyes. Lift your hands up and then place your finger pads together as if you were holding a ball in your hands. And then draw your fingers in front of your heart. And as you inhale, just start to peel your fingertips away from one another as you stretch your arms out to either side of your space. Allow your shoulder blades to draw back and open your arms like you were giving someone a giant hug. And as you exhale, gather your fingertips back together in front of your heart. So let's do this a few times. Inhale, stretch out, open your arms and your heart forward. And exhale, gather in. So on your own, let's do 3 more rounds and you can soften your gaze or close your eyes. And see if you can allow your arms to move to the extent of your breath. So take your time. Next time, as you complete your next exhale, just start to bring your palms together in front of your heart. Draw your thumbs in towards your sternum. And release your hands into your lap. Blink open your eyes and simply change the cross of your legs so that the opposite shin is in front. It doesn't matter which. We're just gonna just change so we have a little bit of a different sensation in our hips. Okay, so I'm gonna do this movement now facing the side so that you can see. It's a little bit more particular. I'm gonna do that same thing. So place your hands with the finger pads together in front of your heart. Sit up tall. And as you inhale, stretch your arms out, that same expression of the arms as you pull your heart forward and gaze up. But this time, as you exhale, start to round, wrap your arms like you were giving yourself a giant hug. And then see if you can work your fingertips towards your shoulder blades. Elbows hug in. And as you inhale, start to lift your elbow tips up and gaze up. And then exhale, start to round through your spine. Dive your elbows towards your belly as you gaze down. And do 2 more like that. Inhale, press into your sitting bones to arch your spine and gaze up. Exhale, round in. 1 more. It's like a seated cat-cow. This time, as you inhale, press into your sitting bones and sit up tall. Note which arm is on top and which arm is underneath. So that as you inhale, you can stretch your arms out. And exhale, gather your arms forward and the opposite arm can come on top. And again, work your fingertips towards your shoulder blades and hug your upper arms together. Let's do 3 rounds with this arm on top. Inhale. And exhale. Bringing fluidity into our spine. Do 2 more. One more. On your next inhale, press into your sitting bones and gaze forward. Extend your arms to either side of your space. And then exhale, plant your palms in front of your shin bones. Roll over your shins and come to a hands and knees position for tabletop. So here's a perfect opportunity to adjust your props. If you have a blanket that you would like to support your knees, you can place it in the middle of your mat. Okay. And I'm going to suggest that if you're on a hardwood surface, it might come in handy for after our spinal movement. But for now, tuck all 10 of your toes. And then pull your thigh bones so they're perpendicular to the earth. Spread through your fingers and gaze forward. As you inhale, press into your hands and then tip your sitting bones up. Soften through your belly and pull your heart forward through the pillars of your arms. Exhale, round through your spine, lift up by the back of your heart and round, gaze in between your thigh bones. Do 2 more like that, a simple cow and cat motion of the spine that we all know. Okay, so on your next inhale, come into that cow spine by tipping the sitting bones up and lifting through the crown of your head. So pause here. Keep lifting through your sitting bones and imagine that you could pull your tailbone towards the back of your head. Broaden your collarbones and see if that does anything to the arch of your spine. You can even look from side to side like you were gazing to the horizon. But go slow. On your next inhale, gaze forward. And then exhale, press into your hands, knees, and toes, and round through your spine and pause. And imagine that you could pull your nose, the tip of your nose, towards your pubic bone. And again, how does that change the rounding of your spine? Breathe into your upper back, the back of your rib cage. On your next inhale, start to come into that neutral tabletop position. Okay, so I'm going to, again, from here, if you have a blanket handy that you would like to place underneath your knees, I would strongly recommend it. Then from here, step your right foot forward in between your hands and keep your left toes tucked. Okay, so the padding would go underneath the left knee. Okay. Ground through the sole of your right foot. And as you inhale, sweep your arms back, then up and overhead. And as you exhale, gaze forward and then wrap your left arm over your right. So we're in that same position again. See if you can hug towards the back of your heart. And as you inhale, press into your right foot and tip back. And then exhale, start to pull your elbows towards the top of your right thigh as you gaze down. Inhale, lean back, lean the back of your head back and gaze up. And exhale, pull your elbows down. One more. This time as you inhale, press into your right foot, look forward and extend your arms out to either side of your space. And then exhale, sweep your hands forward and down. Okay, so from here, we're gonna do kind of a giant movement. So you're gonna take your right foot, that's the foot that's in front, and as you slide your hands back slightly, start to extend your right leg behind you for a half spinal balance with the toes on the earth. So take an opportunity to make sure that your hands are underneath your shoulders. Press into your palms, and now start to lift your right heel up behind you. Dial your right pinky toe down and then press out through the heel. Peel your left hand towards your heart, gaze forward, and then press your left finger pads forward. And spinal balance. Let's take a full inhale here. And stay for the exhale. One more inhale. And as you exhale, take your left palm down, lower your right toes. Okay, press into your palms. Make sure that you're in the middle of your mat. Somehow I shifted super far back. Press into your palms and then start to bring your right heel towards the earth. And then maybe peel your left knee up off of the earth as you lower your right heel, gaze behind you. So you're in this mountain climber shape. If you tend to hyperextend like I do, bend your right knee slightly, just so that you don't lock out the knee joint. Breathe here, breathe into the back of your right leg. Spread your fingers wide. Okay, so now keep your arms super engaged. Press down into the heels of your hands, and then lift your left toes up. Pull your left thigh in towards your belly. Inhale, extend your left leg up and overhead, three-legged dog. And then maybe bend your knee, stack your hips, and like a dog peeing at a fire hydrant, start to bring your left knee towards the left, and then lower your knees towards one another. And you keep going, like a giant circle in space. And then switch. So just move your knee in the opposite direction. Keep breathing, soften the expression on your face. Okay, and now extend your left heel up and back, three-legged dog. And then exhale, bring your left toes to meet your right, downward facing dog. Inhale, wave your body forward to a plank position, top of a push-up. And then simply lower your knees down, back to a tabletop position. Okay, so locate the blanket if you're using it for underneath your right knee this time, and then step your left foot in between your hands for a low crescent moon. Okay. All 5 toes on your right foot are tucked. And as you inhale, stretch your arms behind you. And as you gaze forward, this time wrap your right arm over your left, giving yourself a giant hug. And then we'll do 3 rounds of that pulsation. Press into your left foot. Inhale, start to lean back. And exhale, bring your elbow tips down towards your left knee. Gaze down. 2 more. One more. This time as you inhale, press into your left foot and gaze forward. Unwrap your arms and lean back slightly. And then exhale, plant both of your palms down. Okay. So in this moment, it might make sense just to scoot forward a little bit so that you can slide your left foot back and there's space behind you. Keep your toes on the earth for a moment so that you can adjust your hands underneath your shoulders. And then now puff up your upper back and pick up your left heel. All 5 toes pointing down, including the pinky side edge of your left foot. And you can always stay here or take your right hand and then lift it so it places on top of your heart and gaze forward. And then press your right finger pads forward. And I always prefer the thumb facing up. And then breathe here in the spinal balance. Okay, one more inhale. And then exhale, place your right palm down, lower your left toes. Press into your palms and shift your weight back slightly so that you lower your left heel. And then press into your palms a lot so that you can pick up your right knee. Lift your hips up for that mountain climber shape on the other side. Place a slight bend of your left knee so that you don't lock out the knee joint. And that'll be super helpful. Press into the heels of your hands, spread your fingers wide. Pick up your right toes and hug your right thigh in towards your belly. Inhale, raise your right heel up and back, 3-legged dog. And bend your knee and stack your hips. And we'll do that same knee circle variation of bringing your right knee to the right and then down. And then keep going. And then switch the direction of your circle. On your next inhale, press your right heel up and back, 3-legged dog. And then exhale, lower your right foot down to meet your left, downward facing dog. Inhale, wave your body forward to a plank position, top of a push-up. And this time, as you lower your knees down, untuck your toes and sit back onto your heels. Okay, so squish your glutes in towards your heels. And then soften your elbows and forearms down. That movement was a lot for the shoulders. So if it would feel better for your body, you can always extend your arms behind you. Lower your forehead down onto a blanket or block, or just let it rest on the earth. And if your arms are extended behind you, maybe flip the palms so they face up. Soften through the shoulders and the upper arms. Breathe into your lower back. Take another round of breath or two here. If your arms are extended behind you, start to reach forward towards the top of your mat. Spread your fingers wide. Now gaze forward. Shift forward, and we'll all meet in a downward facing dog. And we've been here already. But this time we'll just hold this position. Bend your knees and feel like there was a string tied to your tailbone, lifting your sitting bones up. Don't worry about lowering your heels. Keep a slight bend of your knees and you can pedal out your feet. Okay, so pause in a downward facing dog. As you inhale, gaze forward between your thumbs. And as you exhale, tiptoe your way to the top of your mat space for a forward fold. Take your time. You know that I'm not an advocate for jumping forward. It's not my style. Keep your feet about hips width distance apart. Bend your knees so that your belly can rest on the tops of your thighs. And then as you pour your weight forward, maybe clasp opposite hand to elbow point. So breathe here and use the leverage of pressing your feet down to lift your sitting bones up and pull the crown of your head forward and down. You can be still or perhaps sway side to side. Breathe into the backs of your legs. Okay. So if you have your elbows, just release them so that you can hang down. Press into your feet and slowly roll all the way up. Lead with the back of your heart. Allow the crown of your head to rise last. And then once your spine is vertical, sweep your arms up and overhead. Then exhale, swivel your hands on top of your heart in Swabhava Mudra, meaning the thumbs are hooked, and place your palms on top of your heart. Soften your gaze or close your eyes, but keep your chin level with the earth. And just take a moment to recalibrate the breath here. Release your hands by your sides and blink open your eyes. Sweep your arms up and overhead. And as you exhale, palms to touch, and then pour your weight forward, standing forward fold, the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift, hands on shins or thighs, gaze forward. And then exhale, fold, plant your hands, and step back to a downward facing dog. Inhale, wave your body forward to a plank position, top of a push-up. Okay. And then from here, press your heels back and the crown of your head forward so that you're in one long plane. One more inhale. And as you exhale, listen carefully. Lower simply your left knee down. Left knee comes down, your right leg stays straight. Toes tucked. Pivot your right foot so it's parallel to the back edge of your mat space and kickstand your left toes behind you. Then inhale, sweep your right arm up and overhead, modified side plank. And then exhale, lower your right palm, adjust your feet, and return back to a downward facing dog. Left toes meeting your right. Inhale, gaze forward. Exhale, make your way to the top of your mat. Take your time, there's no rush. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. This time as you inhale, press into your feet and sweep your arms up and overhead. And then exhale, bring your palms to touch and pour your weight forward, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold, plant your hands and step back to a downward facing dog. Inhale, wave your body forward to a plank position, top of a push-up. And this time as you exhale, lower your right knee down. Pivot your left foot and kickstand your right toes behind you. Inhale, sweep your left arm up and overhead, modified side plank. And then exhale, we'll meet in downward facing dog. So get into that shape piece by piece. Let's pause here for 3 rounds of breath. Keep lifting up through your sitting bones, bending your knees and pulling your belly towards your upper thighs. On your next inhale, gaze forward. And as you exhale, tiptoe your way to the top of your mat space. Okay, so we're at the top of our mat with our feet together. Step your left foot back behind you for a low lunge. And make sure that your left knee is lifted off of the earth. Your right knee is bent, stacked over your right ankle, and pull your heart forward. Come up onto your finger pads here, maybe your peace sign fingers. so that you have leverage. As you press into your feet, sweep your arms behind you like a giant wave, up and overhead. And as you exhale, gaze forward and then wrap your left arm over your right. We've been here before. 3 rounds. Before you move, just check to make sure that your left leg is fully extended, hugging muscle to bone. Inhale, lean back slightly as you lift your elbows. And then exhale, bring your elbows in towards your belly as you gaze down. So do this 2 more times on your own, and just note, explore the range of motion for your body. Don't feel like you have to completely do a cat-cow motion of the spine. Okay, this time as you inhale, press into your right foot, gaze forward, and extend your arms out, and then sweep them forward and down. Plant your palms, and you're gonna turn your feet to the side of your mat space. So you're in a wide-legged forward fold with your feet parallel to one another. Inhale, lift through the crown of your head, pull your heart forward. Exhale, bend your elbows and hinge forward. Slide your hands in line with your feet. Just breathe here for a moment. Okay. Press into your hands and gaze forward. And you're gonna walk your hands towards your left foot. Turn your toes so that you're in a low lunge on the left. Slide your right toes back. And again, pause here for a moment, making sure that your right thigh is fully rotated down and your right leg is straight. Gaze forward and come up onto your finger pads. Press into your feet, and as you inhale, sweep your arms behind you, a giant wave. And then exhale, gaze forward. And this time your right arm is diving in front or on top of your left. Now I know you're facing away from the screen, but that's okay. You know this action well. So 3 pulsations. Inhale, leaning back. Exhale, pouring your weight forward, any amount as you gaze down. 2 more. Use the strength of your legs to support this movement. 1 more. This time as you inhale, gaze forward, unwrap your arms, and then sweep them up and overhead. And then exhale, plant your palms. Walk your toes to the side of your mat space, returning to that wide-legged forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift through your spine. Exhale, fold. And just pause here momentarily. Okay, press into your palms and gaze forward. And then turn your toes to face the front of your mat space. So you're in a low lunge on the right, gazing forward. So from here, we're gonna add on to that exact same sequence, okay? Inhale, sweep your arms behind you, up and overhead. And then exhale, wrap your left arm on top of your right. Inhale, lean back just once. And then exhale as you gaze forward, unwrap your arms. Sweep them behind you, up and overhead. Now listen carefully. Place your palms to touch above the crown of your head. And as you exhale, bring your hands together, thumbs hook towards your sternum. Lean forward, press your chest, your sternum into your thumbs. And as you exhale, start to turn towards your right. Keep your left leg as straight as you can as you look to the right. We're in like a prayer twist position. So you can stay like this, leaning your torso forward. You can hook your left elbow against your right knee if you insist. So just breathe here. Okay. Plant both palms and turn your toes to face the side of your mat space. So you're in a prasarita-like position. Okay, heel toe your feet so that they're slightly closer to one another. You're gonna take your left hand and then dive it underneath your belly and reach for the outside of your right shin bone. Keep your right fingertips on the earth and press your left palm into your right shin and twist underneath you, gazing to the right. Now, take your right hand and place it on top of your sacrum and feel like you could place a plate on your sacrum and it would be level. Breathe and keep twisting from your mid-spine and your rib cage. Lower both of your hands down. And do that on the other side. So your left fingertips stay down. Take your right arm and dive it across into the outside of your left shin. And then press your palm into your shin and twist over to the left. And then now lift your left hand and place it on top of your sacrum. And bring both hands down. And then you're going to turn towards the back of your mat. So you're going to come into a low lunge on the left. And just wiggle your right toes back behind you since we shortened our stance. Okay, gaze forward. Inhale, sweep your arms behind you, up and overhead. And as you exhale this time, right arm comes on top of the left. Inhale, lean back just once. And then exhale, dive your elbows down. This time as you press into your feet, and unwind, sweep your arms up and overhead. Palms to touch. And exhale, bring your hands together in front of your heart. And then hook your thumbs into your sternum. Press your sternum into your thumbs as you lean forward. Keep your right leg straight and then twist over to the left. And again, some of you practice with me very often. You know that I typically just like to stay hovered, which is more difficult. But if you insist, you can hook your elbow here. Just don't do anything with force. Soften the expression on your face and keep breathing. Notice the small adjustments your body makes here as it tries to stay balanced. Okay, and place both of your palms down. Turn your feet to the side of your mat space. Okay. And so this time you can keep your feet at this distance. Bend your left knee and gaze to the right. And press into your feet, and bend your right knee and gaze to the left. And so keep going. And if you would like, we're going to do this a few more rounds. As you bend your left knee and gaze to the right, maybe pick up your right toes and anchor your right heel, and then switch. So it's a little bit more range of movement. Okay, so pause here. We're going to take a momentary pause. So walk your hands towards the front of your mat space. Come into a low lunge on the right. Plant your palms. Step your right foot back to meet your left for a plank position, top of a push-up. And as you exhale, lower your knees down and make your way onto your belly. Untuck your toes. And then just stack your palms underneath your forehead. Rest here for a moment in a pranam, a full body bow. Just take a few moments, maybe 3 or 4 rounds of breath, just to relax. We're not quite done with the flow, but it's a great opportunity to take a momentary pause here. And again, recalibrating the breath. Okay. Pick up your forehead and slide your hands underneath your shoulders. Tuck your toes. And then hug your elbows in. So you can press up through hands and knees or plank. And then bend your knees. Lift your hips up and back, downward facing dog. Inhale, gaze forward. Exhale, make your way to the top of your space. Okay, so we're gonna do that sequence one last time, but we'll add on. Step your left foot back behind you, low lunge. Ground down into your feet and sweep your arms up and overhead. And this time as you exhale, as you dive your left arm on top of the right, pause. So you have the opportunity to do this one last time, or if you'd like, you can eagle wrap your arms by wrapping your forearms, the palms can face in. If you're doing this variation of your arms, pull your forearms away from you, but stand up tall. Inhale, lift your elbows and fingertips up and gaze up. And this time, as you exhale, as you gather your elbow tips in, start to pulse your back knee. So pull your left thigh bone forward as you gather your elbows in. Press into your left foot, straighten your left leg as you gaze up. And then exhale, round in and pulse through the back leg. One more. This time as you inhale, unwind your arms and sweep them up and overhead, back leg straight. Exhale, palms to touch. And then exhale, twist over to the right. A vertical twist with the palms together. And maybe hook the elbow against your right knee. One complete round of breath here. Okay. Now from here, press into your feet and gaze forward. Reach your arms up and overhead. And as you exhale, pivot your back foot, your left foot, so it's parallel to the back edge of your mat space, and open your arms up, a warrior two position. Inhale, reverse warrior, sweep your right arm up and overhead. And as you exhale, slowly cartwheel your hands down. Okay, and then pivot your left heel up. From here, take your right foot and step it back to a plank position, top of a push-up. Okay, so kind of a giant movement coming. You're gonna bring both heels to the left. You're in a plank position and now your heels are to the left for a side plank. Ground down into your left hand, rotate your torso to the right and sweep your right arm up and overhead, side plank. And then exhale, plant your palms, lift your heels, downward facing dog. Inhale, gaze forward. Exhale, make your way to the top of your space. So let's do that sequence on the other side. Step your right foot back behind you, low lunge, gaze forward. Sweep your arms up and overhead. And then exhale, wrap your arms. This time your right arm on top, left arm underneath. So you have that same option here. You can do exactly as we've been doing, or you can eagle wrap your arms. If your arms are wrapped, pull your forearms forward. 3 rounds. Inhale, lift your elbow tips and fingertips up, gaze up. And then exhale, as you dive your elbows in, pulse through the back knee. 2 more. Inhale, straighten your right leg as you arch your spine. Exhale. 1 more. This time as you inhale, unwrap your arms and sweep them up and overhead. Palms to touch. Exhale, bring your hands in front of your heart. Hook your thumbs into your sternum and lean forward. And then twist to the left. You can hook your elbow or not. Just take 1 complete round of breath here. On your next inhale, press into your feet, gaze forward, and reach your arms up and overhead. Exhale, pivot your right foot so it's parallel to the back edge of your mat. Open your arms, warrior two. Inhale, reverse warrior, sweep your left arm up and overhead. And then exhale, cartwheel your hands down. Frame your left foot, pick up your right heel. Okay, so we're gonna do that variation of a side plank again. We can do it. Last round. Press into your palms, step your left foot back to meet your right. Plank position. And so now bring your heels over to the right. Ground down into your right hand. Rotate your torso to the left and sweep your left arm up and overhead, lifting up by your left hip. And then exhale, plant both palms, lift your heels and your hips, downward facing dog. Inhale, wave your body forward to a plank position. Exhale, lower onto your belly, lowering your knees or not. Okay, untuck your toes and slide your hands underneath your shoulders. Press the tops of your feet down and inhale, lift your chest up, rolling your shoulders back. Bhujangasana, low cobra. Exhale, lower your belly, chest and chin down. 2 more like that. Inhale. And exhale. 1 more. And now slide your hands forward, palms touching, or you can stack your palms underneath your forehead and rest. And now fully calm your body. Start to slow the breath down. Just allow heat to emanate off of your body. Okay. So take your time, slide your palms underneath your shoulders and press up to a sitting position. So take this opportunity to get some water. We're gonna make our way onto our backs in a moment. And I just wanna show you one thing before you come all the way down, before I'm not as accessible on the screen. We're gonna move into a few shapes on our back, some that we know really well. We're gonna come into a thigh root shape. And again, you can just stay seated for the moment, just watching. We'll come into that thigh root that we know, and there's gonna be an option for a toe hold if you want it, which means taking the peace sign fingers and wrapping your big toe. You can keep a slight bend of your knee and you'll push out through the heel, okay? And then from here, we're gonna come into a supine pigeon shape, which involves straightening the bottom leg and then taking your right knee, pulling it towards the armpit, and your left heel will come across your body. So it's gonna look exactly like a supine pigeon. So here's option 1, staying just like this. Option 2 is taking your left foot and hooking it in the crease of your left arm. And notice how my upper back has to lift slightly, just because I can't actually reach. And you can clasp your hands like you are rocking your right shin. Okay. So this is a more active shape. So you'll flex your left foot into the crease of your left elbow, like this. And you can stay here or even pick up the right foot, almost like you were lifting up like this. Okay. So that's an option. But of course, you can always just stay down. Okay. When you're ready, make your way onto your back. Bend your knees and bring your feet wide. Allow your knees to knock together for a constructive rest position. And please know that anything that I show you, there's always steps. There's always places that you can opt out. These are just paths to explore. So start to heel toe your feet towards one another. Bend your right knee and pull it in towards your belly. Clasp your hands around the belly of your right thigh, so the back of your right thigh. And do this to start. Clasp your hands to the webbing. And then just start to push up through the ball of your right foot. Reach it up. And notice that your thigh is starting to pull against your hands, and allow your arms to straighten. Start to roll your whole sacrum down. And then stretch your left leg out. So your legs are making about a 90-degree angle. So root your right thigh completely down. And this goes without saying, but it bears repeating. Make sure that whatever you do it without strain and force. You can start to walk your hands towards the back of your shin if you'd like. If you want to go for the toe hold, take the peace sign fingers of your right hand, loop the big toe on the right foot, and flex the whole foot. If you have the foot, press out through the right heel. Keep a slight bend of your right knee so you don't lock out the knee joint. Flex your left toes and place your left hand on the top of your left thigh. Just breathe here. You're doing great. Okay. And just start to bend your right knee. Pull the thigh in. So keep your left leg straight here, and then move your right knee towards your right armpit as you swivel your right heel towards the left. So let's all start on our back. So come into the supine pigeon shape, even if you plan to go a little bit further. So this is a great option. Anytime you're cued to do pigeon, you can always do it on your back. It removes gravity from this shape, your own body's weight. Stay here for about 3 more rounds of breath. Or if you would like to take this a little bit further, flex the right foot. And then maybe hook the foot into the left elbow. Clasp your hands to the webbing. And as you push your right foot into the inner left arm, lift your upper back up slightly. Unclench your jaw, and you can always lift your left leg up as well. And by lifting up, I mean like an inch off of the earth. Okay. And slowly lower the back of your head down. Release the bottom of your right foot. And scoot your hips 1 inch to the right and bring your right knee to the left. Supine twist. Roll your right shoulder back and gaze up, or maybe to the right slightly. And breathe here. Maybe 1 more round of breath or 2. Take your time, roll onto your back, set your right foot down, and then bend your left knee. So both knees are bent, and adjust your hips so that they're in the middle of your mat. Okay, so let's do that sequence on the other side. Start to pull your left thigh in towards your belly. Wrap your hands around the back of your left thigh. And then start to push your left heel up. And push your thigh into the palms of your hands so that your sacrum, your left side of your sacrum, rolls down. And then extend your right leg out. Flex your toes. Actually, flex both of your feet. And of course, you can stay here in this thigh root. If you'd like to go a little bit further, you can slide your hands up to the back of your left shin. Or if you're taking the toe hold, take your peace sign fingers on the left hand and loop the big toe on your left foot. Flex your toes a ton. And place your right hand on the top of your right thigh. Okay. Slowly bend your left knee. Release your toe if you have it. And as you pull your left knee towards your left armpit, swivel your heel over to the right. Press your whole spine down here. Just notice what this feels like, this supine pigeon. So about 3 more rounds of breath. And again, you choose if you'd like to take this expression on the other side, this more active expression by flexing your left foot, looping it, and placing it along the crease of your right elbow. Wrapping both of your arms, clasping your hands, lifting up your upper back and maybe picking up your right foot. Especially if you're lifted here. Soften through your cheekbones and your jaw. Lower your heel down, release your foot. Scoot your hips an inch to the left and bring your knee to the right. Supine twist. Roll your left shoulder back, broaden through your collarbones. Take your gaze either up or to the left slightly. And take the next round of breath or two to make your way onto your back. Bend your knees and scoot your hips to the middle of your mat. Pick up your hips slightly and roll your spine down. Pull your tailbone away from you and smooth your lower back. And then bring the soles of your feet together and your knees open wide. Breathe into the base of your body, your pelvic bowl. And you can always stay here in this shape for the remainder of class. Or take your hands to the outsides of your knees and close your knees together. Press your low back down and pull your thighs in towards your belly. And wrap your arms around your shins as you press your low back down. You can stay here or reach for the outsides of your feet, flexing your toes and gathering your knees to either side of your body. Happy baby. Release your feet if you have them and bring your knees together. Press your low back down. Then peel the back of your head up. Bring your nose towards your kneecaps and curl in. And take a deep breath in here. And as you exhale, release your legs out, pressing out through your heels. And extend your arms on either side of your body. And allow your body to rest. And just remember that the intention of the movement practice of yoga is to make this shape, this final shape of stillness, easier. And if it helps to make that mental notation the inhale and exhale, you can do so. I'll call you back momentarily. So you can keep your body relaxed and your eyes closed. And you're at home, so you can always stay exactly as you are. If you like to wake up your body, wiggle your fingers and toes. Stretch your arms up and overhead. Gather your knees in towards your chest and roll to one side. Press your palms into the earth and come up to sitting. And swivel your hands on top of your heart in Swabhava Mudra. And as we bow our head towards our heart, we honor one another. And when you're ready, lift your gaze